Our special coverage continues as we watch the military parade for the Army anniversary in Washington and ongoing No King's Day protests that were basically aligned and choreographed as a response by protesters to Donald Trump's celebration of military force here. Jacob Soboroff has been reporting for us out of Los Angeles and has more on that spot near the federal building where so much has happened over the course of the week. Jacob?
Ari, tactical officers from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department have moved in, both in on the back of these pickup trucks, and they've got tactical vehicles and on horseback as well. As the horses start to make their way in here, actually, JB, let's go this way so we can show them. It looks as though they're establishing perhaps a line here because people are in the street in front of the federal building, and I don't know if the plan is to declare an unlawful assembly or to move people out, but I'm going to see if we can just get into a position that gives us an idea of what's going on here. If you look, come on down, JB. If you look down the road here, you can see many vehicles from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and the California Highway Patrol. That's a tactical officer from the Highway Patrol. These are officers obviously dressed in their tactical gear for the LA County Sheriff's Department. The Los Angeles Police Department has formed a line on the other side of the street, and what they've done is where we were before, where the Marines are stationed in front of the federal building. They have essentially formed a line blocking the people who are on the inside from coming out, and these Sheriff's Department tactical officers are blocking anyone from coming in. You can see that they have their less than lethal rounds ready to go, and when we've seen this in past days, generally it's part of an effort either to corral the people who are in the street and arrest them, or to try to push them out or in some form or fashion. I want to reiterate, this looks very intimidating. This has remained 100% peaceful as far as I have seen. People are out here with their signs. Here, may I show your sign, ma'am? Can I? Your sign says,
"We are not criminals."
Whoa, 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 let's go.
Peaceful protest. We're not doing nothing wrong.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
We have the freedom of speech.
Go, 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 go. You want to be careful, okay? You take care of yourself. So you can see, whoa, they're messing with the horses. Guys, let's go. Let's back up here. Obviously, people are unhappy, Ari. People don't want to see horses trampling. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Hey, Ari, we're okay. We're going to keep going. Stay with us if you can. JB, want to move a little faster back. They're pushing people with horses, which obviously gets people freaked.
Jacob, you're
and
on
again,
camera,
I haven't
but
seen,
do what you need to do.
Ahead,
You're on camera, but take your time and space.
Whoa. Let's go. Oh, shit. Let's go. Whoa. We're good, Ari. We're good. Keep going. We're good. Whoa. Those are the flashbangs. Let's go. Ari, obviously they're trying to disperse the crowd here. We're doing fine. And this is crowd control tactics by the Sheriff's Department, the Highway Patrol, LAPD. It's an effort to move people out of that area by the federal building. And obviously it's been pretty effective to get people off of that bridge there on Los Angeles Street. Let's give you the vantage point from over here. While we catch our breath, you can see, Ari, this is the 101 freeway. That's the federal building where we were talking to you from earlier. We're good, buddy. And the people that were in front of the federal building have now moved. You can see there's the CHP officers, California Highway Patrol, starting to move in towards those folks. What we can do actually is, JB, let's go across this bridge and see if we can give Ari a look from the other side. But Ari, again, as you can see here, this is a peaceful protest. We the people serve no king. How you guys feeling?
Horrible.
What was it like to hear those flashbangs just now?
Unnecessary. It was peaceful. We were in front of the federal building. We were peaceful. It's not right.
What brings you out here?
My privilege.
The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of 57-year-old Minnesota man Vance Luther Bolter, a suspect in the assassination of a top state lawmaker. That is the chilling footage and photos that we've all seen today of him at her door. Melissa Hortman, a member of the Democratic Farmer Labor Party and a former Speaker of the State House, and her husband Mark, they were shot and killed early this morning. Bolter is also a suspect in an attack on another lawmaker, State Senator Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette. They are expected to survive multiple gunshot wounds. Officials released this photo of the suspect taken this morning in Minneapolis, saying they believe he is working to flee the Twin Cities area. Officials believe the attacks were politically motivated. They say he left behind a list of potential targets. According to an official who has seen the list, the targets are prominent pro-choice individuals in Minnesota, including many Democratic lawmakers who have been outspoken about pro-choice policy positions. They also found dozens of pieces of paper with the words "No Kings" scrawled on them in a car used by the suspect. What those words mean to the suspect, what connection they might have to thousands of protests today is still unclear. If we learn more, we will certainly bring that all to you. But joining me now is Ken Martin. He is the chair of the Democratic National Committee. He's a proud son of Minnesota, and he is a friend of both the Hortman and Hoffman families. Ken, we are I'm so grateful for you to be here with us tonight, because this is so much going on around the country. But I know for you and for so many people from Minnesota, this is a very personal story. A personal night, a tragic night. And I just want to start by asking you to tell us a little bit more about Speaker Hortman and her husband, Mark. What should we know about them?
Well, first, let me just say, Jen, thanks for having me on. Look, like many Minnesotans, I woke up this morning actually in Kentucky to the news, just getting texts that there'd been a shooting in Minnesota, not knowing at the time that it involved many of my friends, including Melissa Hortman, who I've had the great pleasure of knowing for half of my life. I first met her when I was 27 years old. She was 30. This was in the year 2000. She was running for the State House for the very first time. She was a proud alum of Al Gore's Senate office, and I was working for Al Gore's campaign at the time, and we just became really fast friends during that year.
It's horrific. I want to ask you too, and please keep sharing more about Melissa. We can keep talking about that as long as you would like. I think people love to hear it.
I want to say something more about Melissa before we get into how we got to this mess, because you know what? She was an amazing elected official, and she just persisted. She ran again in 2004 and won that race, and then really climbed the ranks within the State House. She is a fierce champion for working families in our state. And, you know, she obviously was one of the longest serving speakers of the House, but she also is one of the most consequential speakers of the House. You've heard a lot about the Minnesota Miracle. That she was the architect of that. That would not have happened without her vision, without her leadership, without her persistence in actually making sure that we pushed hard for an agenda that actually improved people's lives, that centered on working families in our state. As a result, we passed the largest child tax credit, free school lunches for children, paid family medical leave, you know, the largest investments in our K-12 education system, early childhood education. You know, you can go down the list of things she did to actually center working families and children in the conversation. None of that would have happened without Melissa Hortman, and we all owe her a great debt of gratitude.
Yeah, no question about it. There's some incredible stories about her leadership and what she did in the role and her time in public service. In your statement today, which struck me because it was so personal and it was also powerful, and you said these heinous murders are a reflection of the extremism and political violence that have been fomented in our country. I know we're all asking. I mean, in Minnesota, I know, and across the country tonight, how something like this could happen in America. I said earlier, and I don't know how you feel about this, that I know people keep saying this is not who we are, and I think part of it is this is part of who we are, and we need to talk about how political violence on the rise is something that's threatening public officials across the country. But how have you been answering that?
To begin this past week, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced in an op-ed for the Wall Street Journal that he was getting rid of the entire 17-member advisory committee on immunization practices. And that is the group that determines the vaccine schedule for the United States, makes vaccine recommendations for consumers and patients and everybody. And Kennedy swore during his confirmation that I'm not going to get rid of these people. Oh, never. I would never do that. He assured Republican senators who were on the fence about him, including Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, that I'm not going to fire these people. Hell no. And Cassidy's past comments defending Kennedy and insisting Kennedy was being honest when he said he wasn't going to fire these people resurfaced this week after Kennedy fired the people that he said he wasn't going to fire. So the guy's not only a hypocrite and, of course, a conspiracy theorist, he's also just a flat-out liar. And Bernie Sanders called him out in probably one of the most accurate ways I've ever seen, because Bernie Sanders pointed out that this decision from Kennedy, and Kennedy alone, is probably going to get people in the United States killed. Here's what he said. Sanders warned in a statement that, quote, firing independent vaccine experts is a dangerous, unprecedented move that will make it harder for the American people to access vaccines that are safe, effective, and essential to saving lives for decades. Secretary Kennedy has spread lies and conspiracy theories about vaccines. Now, with Trump's backing, he's doubling down on misinformation that will lead to preventable illness and death at a time when we should be strengthening trust in science and expanding access to healthcare. This administration is doing the exact opposite. This is a continuation of Trump and Kennedy's dangerous war on science. It cannot stand now. Everything that Bernie Sanders said right there is absolutely correct. And what's funny to me is it kind of mirrors what I've been saying about Kennedy's tenure at Health and Human Services throughout this entire administration. And it's this: no matter what we see from any of the other parts of this administration, I believe when all is said and done, the death toll from Kennedy's appointment will be higher than any other government department, higher than the Department of Defense, higher than the State Department. It is going to be the absolute worst of every part of this administration because this is damage that will last for decades. This is poisoning the public's trust in a way that's not just immediately going to get rebuilt when somebody else comes into office. This is dangerous, and Bernie is right. People will die from this decision of Kennedy's.